Hi, and welcome to BET CG News. I'm your anchor tonight, Tommy Reed, here to give you the news. Our top stories tonight are to celebrate Black History Month. We will talk about the weather or the first black meteorologist. In sports, we have famous black athletes in news today, and happy to promote black businesses in St. Louis, Missouri. First up, we have Jeremiah Henderson for the weather.
Hi, I am Jeremiah Henderson. Welcome to the weather forecast. It's been below freezing for what it seems like forever now. The low estimate of the month is -4, and the high estimate is 51 degrees. Now, let's transition over to black meteorologist Charles E. Anderson. Charles E. Anderson is a black meteorologist who graduated college when World War II started. He enlisted in the military and started military training as well as meteorology training. He was a pilot, so the Army put him in the Tuskegee, Alabama, to train what became the most famous Tuskegee Airmen after the war ended, and he went on to study meteorology and got his PhD from Massachusetts Institute of Technology in 1960, which was the first meteorology degree given to an African American person. The first black woman meteorologist, June Bacon Bursey, was a black meteorologist who won a television show and got $64,000. She used part of it in the AGU scholarship. She was what Will Weed call a scientist reporter today. Unfortunately, she passed away in July 2019.
Hi, I'm Teddy Orban. Right now I'll be talking about Sweet Art. Sweet Art was founded by Rain Bayok in 2008. It is located on 39th Street, and their food consists of sweets and lunch. Their materials are all natural and is almost completely vegan. Their sweets menu consists of cupcakes, cinnamon rolls, cookies, and brownies. Their eats menu consists of vegan chicken, burgers, macaroni and cheese, and many others. Thank you. Right now, I'll be talking about La Patisserie Choquette. La Patisserie Choquette is a pastry shop located on the corner of McCree Avenue. There, they sell macarons and realistic-looking cakes, such as steaks and shoes. Fun fact, the owner, Simone Foray, was on Cake Wars. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shannon. Welcome to BETCG Sports. Today I will be introducing you to black famous athletes. First up, we have Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was a professional basketball player. He started playing basketball when he was 3 years old. At the age of 17, he got drafted to the Los Angeles Lakers. He played for the Lakers for 20 years and carried his team to 5 world championships. Eventually, he retired and wrote a book called Mamba Mentality and a couple children's books. On a helicopter ride to a basketball game, the helicopter crashed. Sadly, Kobe, along with his daughter, Gigi, passed away. Rest in peace to Kobe, Gigi, and the rest of the helicopter passengers. Next up, we have Serena Williams. Serena Williams is a professional tennis player. She started playing the sport when she was 3 years old, following the footsteps of her older sister, Venus Williams. Serena, along with her sister, were homeschooled through elementary to high school so they could spend more time on tennis, and it paid off. She was 14 when she won her first Grand Slam, and she has 23 in total. Today, she is still playing the sport that she loves. And the last person we will be introducing is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. He spent his rookie season as a backup behind Alex Smith. After the Chiefs traded Alex Smith to the Washington football team the next season, Patrick was the starter. That season, Patrick threw for 5,097 yards, 50 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Patrick became the only quarterback in history to throw over 5,000 yards in that season. Patrick lost to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship. That's it. I'm your anchor, Shannon Sills. Thanks for watching.
My name is Indigo Hans Simpson, and I decided to do a poster and 2 quotes. My poster is about how I hope that one day everyone will be equal, and my quotes are, "Anti-racism isn't an identity or a checklist, it's a practice," by Andrea Rainey. And "Equal rights for others does not mean less rights for you. It's not a pie." By Unknown. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hi, I'm Madeline Harris, and I am doing a quote for this assignment. This quote is by Rosa Parks. This quote says, "You must never be fearful of what you're doing when you know it's right." So, for example, Rosa Parks, she was on a bus in a seat that a white man wanted. She didn't give it up to that man because she did it because she knew that it was right. She didn't give it up. She refused to give it to the white man. The police came and arrested her. She went in jail for 4 days. Although it wasn't that long, I think that was very brave of her, and I think that that's very admirable and something to like about a person, and I think she's very, very courageous to do such a thing. She stood up to a police officer, and she stood up to a white man, and I think that's amazing. So, yeah. Bye.
Hello, it's me again. I found a quote that I actually really enjoyed. It says, what I know for sure is speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have." And I think that's a really good quote. And I agree with her. Her name is Oprah Winfrey. She actually owns multiple TV shows. She even owns her own TV station. How I know about her is me and my grandmother sometimes watch her on TV when we're not watching Blue Bloods or something like that. What I think she means by speaking your truth is like being true to yourself, being true to others, and kind to yourself, especially yourself, and kind to others as well. Because you always have to be kind to others. That's just the correct courtesy. But yeah, I think speaking your truth is a good trait to have. Because if you keep all your emotions bottled up, then it's going to come out at one time, and that might not be the best time for all your energy and your feelings to come out. So I think it's better to let all your energy out now before it comes later. Yeah, so that's the quote I found, and I hope you enjoy it. Sorry for me speaking so low or my quality. Trying to get that fixed. Sorry, I'm in a different space as well. I had to move because Maddie's in a meeting right now, but bye-bye.
And now a little tune written especially for me, Strange Fruit. Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth, scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh. Then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rock, for the tree to drop. Here is a strange and bitter
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our commercial about historically Black colleges and universities. I'm Miss Elizabeth, and I'm here to tell you that HBCUs are a great college choice for everyone, but you don't have to take my word from it. Listen to these upper elementary students as they tell you all about it. First, we'll hear from August, who will share a little bit about the history of HBCUs.
Historically Black colleges and universities, or HBCUs, were made in 1837 and are still around to this day. They were made so that children of color could have a good education and go to college. These colleges were like any other college or university. They study the same subjects and learn the same things. There are around 107 HBCUs around the world. There are also some famous people you might know that went to an HBCU, like Oprah Winfrey, Spike Lee, Samuel L. Jackson, and even some rappers like 2 Chainz. Some popular HBCUs include Spelman College, Howard University, Florida A&M, and Hampton University. Next, Kaya is talking about Jackson State.
Jackson State was founded on October 23rd, 1877, by a group of people called the American Baptist Home Mission Society. During this time, if you can't go to the actual school, they have online classes available at this link. They also have more information about enrolling online. On the link, there's also information about the school, campus, and everything else that is going on in the school. You can also check out the newsroom there. I think you should really consider Jackson State because, as you can see in the picture above, they have a really good band and they have a dance team too. And from videos I have seen, they are very good. Right next to the logo picture, I have a link that shows one of their videos. I hope you enjoy it. Now, I really hope you will consider going to Jackson State. Thank you, everyone. Next up, we have Kaden.
Hampton is located in Virginia and was created in 1861. Hampton is known for their technical and liberal arts, but the pirates seek all subjects. Next up is Sam talking about Florida A&M.
If you want to go to a great college, go to Florida A&M. It has a higher freshman graduation percentage than the national average nationwide ranking at 81%. And Florida A&M has the 76th best graduation rate in the entire country. So go to Florida A&M and make your history. Next up, Ava is speaking about Howard University.
Over the last 150 years, Howard University has become the most well-known historical Black college and university in the United States. It was chartered by Congress in 1867. Howard University was founded on March 2nd, 1867 by Civil War General Oliver Howard. The campus is located in Northwest Washington, D.C., which is often referred as the Mecca. Next up is Miss.
This is Project 2 for the Black History Month Activists and Movements group. This group will be focusing on historical activists of the past, present, and future. And we will be hearing from Chloe.
Charles Diggs was a Black activist. He was born in Detroit, Michigan, U.S. on December 2nd. He was in the Democrat Party. He died because he had a stroke in Washington, D.C. He also served the World War II. And after 2 years, he transferred to Fisk University. He was an American politician who served in the state Senate and U.S. of Representatives. He was also in the early civil rights movement. Martin Luther King, also known as MLK, is also a Black activist. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia, was a Baptist minister and social rights activist in the United States in the 1950s and 60s. He was a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement. He organized a number of peaceful protests as head of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, including the March on Washington in 1963. He got killed in Memphis, Tennessee on the balcony outside his second-story room on the Lauren Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. And he has a holiday called MLK Day. Usually schools take the day off and celebrate the life and achievements of MLK. The Black Panther Party. The Black Panther Party, also known as the BPP, were a Black Power self-defense political organization / group of activists between 1966 and 1982. The Black Panther Party were founded by college students Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton on October 1966. The party was active in the United States and Oakland, California. The Black Panther Party core practice was its open carry armed Black citizens caught watching to monitor the behavior of officers in the Oakland Police Department and challenge police brutality in the city. But the face of the national organization, the Black Panther Party, base was in Chicago, Illinois, and led by Fred Hampton, who was later assassinated on December 4th, 1969, at the age of 21 by a group of white supremacists who raided his home, but they also killed Mark Clark and injured several others. A few weeks later, his son Fred Hampton Jr. was born on December 29th, 1969. This case went on for 12 years, and the Black Panther Party wanted $4.27 million, but ended up settling for $1.85 million. The money got split between the national organization, and some of the money got donated to their free breakfast program. Activist of the present. Kimberly Crenshaw was born in Canton, Ohio, 1959. She is 16 years old. She is leading scholar of critical race theory. She is also a full-time professor at the UCLA School of Law and Columbia Law School Center for Intersectionality and Social
Policy.
Policy Students, CICPS, in the African American Policy Forum, as well as the president of Berlin-based Center for Intersectional Justice, and she's known for intersectionality and critical race theory.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Chloe. This has been a look at historical activists. Hello, this is Group 3 for the Black History Month Activists and Movements Upper Elementary program. This group looked into unhoused support in the tradition of the Black Panthers and specific St. Louis organizations that work to support our unhoused community. And we're going to be hearing from Jessie.
What are the resources for the unhoused in St. Louis? Food, stuff that won't go bad, water, clothing, socks, underwear, pants, shirts, coats, and gloves, bathroom items, tampons, pads, toilet paper, toothpaste and brush, deodorant, and then pillows and blankets like comfort items, money, shelter, house, or tent, masks, and lastly, hand warmers. What organizations work for the unhoused in St. Louis? Pot Bangers, they help the unhoused get food. Tent Mission STL, they help the unhoused get tents. The TSTL, they help the unhoused get materials to help them stay healthy. Homelessness statistics in St. Louis. Black people are 3.72 times more likely to become homeless. STL has an equality score of 29. If it was a test, St. Louis would have 29 out of 100 in score. The Black Panthers Party's free breakfast program. The party began the free breakfast for children programs to address food injustice and community health clinics for education and treatment of diseases.
Thank you, Jessie. This has been Unhoused Community Support. Hello, this is Project 1 for the Black History Month Activists and Movements Upper Elementary group. This group focused on the St. Louis mayoral race happening on March 3rd. They took a deep dive into the different candidates and their stances, and we will be hearing from Nada.
Tashara Juanito Jones is a Democrat running for St. Louis mayor. Since 2013, she's been treasurer for St. Louis and was the first African-American woman to hold that position. She served 2 terms in the Missouri House of Representatives. She went to St. Louis University School of Public Health, Hampton University, and Afton High School. She's pro-choice and thinks that gun control is necessary to reduce crime. She supports increasing immigration and said immigrants should be seen as an asset, not a burden. She's also said recovering from coronavirus pandemic must start with the acknowledgement that the pandemic is not over yet. Our priority must be to continue social distancing, wearing a mask, and proper hygiene. And when the pandemic is over, we must immediately begin pursuing policies to improve our public health infrastructure and protecting people's economic livelihoods and preventing unnecessary suffering.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nada.
Kara Spencer is a Democrat. She was born in South St. Louis City. She has served on the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis since 2015. She also was one of the first St. Louis officials to encourage wearing masks and social distancing. Kara also believes that all children's education should be a large priority. Louis E. Reed is a Democrat whose first job was at the 6th Ward Alderman. He redeveloped the Lafayette Square neighborhood and added $1.7 billion of new development for St. Louis neighborhood, adding a lot more housing. He is the first African American to be elected president of the Board of Aldermen in its history. Right now, he is serving his 4th term as president and is the longest serving president in the Board of Aldermen's history. Andrew Jones Jr. is the only Republican candidate running for St. Louis mayor. He was born in Cyril, Illinois, and was raised in eastern St. Louis. He's lived in St. Louis for 30 years. He currently holds the job of the Executive Vice President of Business Development and Marketing at Southwest Electric. He's planning to send more resources for schools and create more opportunities for young students. He's also said taxpayers shouldn't be asked to foot the bill for overly expensive, underproven economic development strategies. He's also planning to build more railroads, roads, and etc. if he wins. He's planning on reforming the police system to make sure our city is policing effectively. And here are some questions that we have for each of the candidates. Why do you love St. Louis? Why do you want to be mayor? Why do you think you're the best candidate for St. Louis? How are you planning to improve the containment of COVID-19 in our community? Where do you stand on police brutality and what might you do to prevent it? What are your plans to reduce climate change? And why should a 10-year-old think you're the best candidate?
Very important questions. Thank you, Nada. This has been our coverage of the St. Louis mayoral race.
The Black History Story of the Baby Mouse and the Baby Snake by African Folktale, read by Augusta Trani. Pictures from Google Images. Our story begins when a predator and a prey, a snake and a mouse, gave birth to 2 children, a serpent and a baby mouse. For the baby mouse, for the mother of the baby mouse, she restricted her baby from going to a brook in fear that he would drown and pass away. So she prohibited him from going to the brook. The serpent did not have any restrictions. He went on many trails in forests, in deserts, in lakes. He went very far, very close sometimes, and his mother did not fear of anything bad ever happening. One day, both serpent and mouse went for a little walk in the desert on a trail, and obviously, when you go on the same trail, you meet up in the middle. First, they were like standing far away from each other, but then they started to go in, started to make conversation, then they became friends, started to play, and then from that point on, they became friends. Once the baby mouse got home, his mother immediately realized that his hair was wet, and she immediately thought that he went to the brook, because obviously there's water at a brook, and she thought that he might have gone into the water. Baby Mouse replied honestly, saying that he was playing with the serpent and that he made friends with the serpent. Mother Mouse, or the baby mouse's mom, immediately scolded him and was very mad at his behavior, because in many generations, snakes have always been the predators of mice. So she told her son that he was very lucky that the serpent did not want to eat them, and she told him to never go close to him again. When Serpent arrived at his home, he very his mom immediately realized that there was hair in the serpent's mouth. She questioned her son about it and asked why there was hair, and little serpent got told the truth. And her mother was not happy that instead of consuming his prey, the serpent's prey, instead of consuming him, he was playing around with them. And she said if he ever saw the mouse again, he must go home with his mouth full. And serpent did not like that idea. The two animals met up again at their spots, which was right in the middle of the deserts, and serpent yelled to baby mouse, eager to play, but baby mouse reminded him of like their mothers, because obviously he didn't want to betray his mother. So serpent was like, but I want to play. But obviously they couldn't play because it was a rule that serpents were always predators of mice. From then on, the two animals never played together and developed a sort of hatred for each other, just like black people and white people. For a long time, black people were never allowed to be in the same places as white people. Long time, black people never were able to drink from the same water fountain as white people. There was just a separation in the world. And not just black people and white people, people from all around the world having to face problems. And it was very bad. Now it has changed. It's gotten a lot better. Not saying that there's none left. There's still a lot left. But they're getting better. And hopefully one day there'll be none at all. But so this story is about two animals who were not able to play together because of how their parents thought of it. So this is just like how in a past generation, white people and black people weren't able to see each other, which I think is not nice and not fair. So but that's my story. Thank you guys for listening. That's my story of the baby snake and the baby mouse.
The Cheetah and the Lazy Hunter, a tale from the Zulu. Made by Barrett Kennedy, me. Long ago, a wicked and lazy hunter was sitting under a tree. He was thinking that it was too hot to be bothered with the arduous task of stalking prey through the bushes. Below him, in the clearing on the grassy field, there were fat springbok grazing, but this hunter couldn't be bothered. So lazy was he. He gazed at the herd, wishing that he could have the meat without the work, when suddenly he noticed a movement off to the left of the bushes of the buck. It was a female cheetah seeking food. Keeping downwind of the herd, she moved closer and closer to them. She singled out a springbok who had foolishly wandered away from the rest. Suddenly, she gathered her long legs under her and sprang forward. With great speed, she came upon the springbok and brought it down. Startled, the rest of the herd raced away as the cheetah quickly killed her prey. The hunter watched as the cheetah dragged her prize to some shade on the edge of the clearing. Their 3 beautiful cheetah cubs were waiting there for her. The lazy hunter was filled with envy for the cubs. He wished that he could have such a good hunter provide for him. Imagine dining on delicious meat every day without having to do the actual hunting. Then he had a wicked idea. He decided that he would steal one of the cheetah cubs and train it to hunt for him. He decided to wait until the mother cheetah went to the water hole late in the afternoon to make his move. He smiled to himself. When the sun began to set, the cheetah left her cubs concealed in a bush and set off to the water hole. Quickly, the hunter grabbed his spear and trotted down into the bushes where the cubs were hidden. There he found the 3 cubs, still too young to be frightened of him or to run away. He first chose one, then decided upon another, and then changed his mind again. Finally, he stole them all, thinking to himself that 3 cheetahs would undoubtedly be better than one. When their cried so loudly that she was heard by an old man who came to see what the noise was all about. Now this old man was wise and knew the ways of the animals. When he discovered what the wicked hunter had done, he became very angry. The lazy hunter was not only a thief, he had broken the traditions of the tribe. Everyone knew that a hunter must use only his own strength and skill. Any other way of hunting was surely a dishonor. The old man returned to the village and told the elders what happened. The villagers became angry. They found the lazy hunter and drove him away from the village. The old man took the 3 cheetah cubs back to their grateful mother, but the long weeping of their mother cheetah stained her face forever. Today, the cheetah wears the tear stains on its face as a reminder to the hunter that it is not honorable to hurt in any other way than that which is traditional. The end.
The Midnight Goat Thief. Once upon a time, Hare, tired of living alone, decided it was time to find himself a companion. He decided to make the journey to the neighboring village to meet his future in-laws. As was customary, he needed someone to accompany him on this important occasion, so he asked his longtime friend and happy-go-lucky fellow Baboon. He readily agreed. When they were halfway through the journey, Hare stopped Baboon near a dense shrub and said, "Say, friend Baboon, there is one important favor I need to ask of you." "Yes, friend Hare, let me know what it is I can do." "Do you see this herb?" said Hare. "Yes, friend, it is the herb used to cure a tummy ache," said Baboon. "Well done, friend. Whenever I start to feel sick, bring this herb for me. When we get to my in-laws' place, they will give us food. When I eat the food, I may suffer from a tummy ache. Friend, you will quickly run back to this exact place, to the shrub, dig up the roots, and bring them back to cure me." Baboon agreed, and they continued their journey. At sunset, they reached the in-laws' village. Hare and Baboon were well received and given a room to rest. Both Hare and Baboon were hungry and looked forward to the meal. A feast was made in their honor and brought to their room. As they took the first bite of the meal, Hare interrupted Baboon. "Friend, I think that the problem is already starting. My tummy is rumbling and is starting to ache. Do you remember the herb? Rush and get me some of it. Otherwise, I may not survive the night." Baboon panicked and quickly sprinted off to get the herb for Hare's tummy. Meanwhile, Hare settled comfortably and devoured the whole feast all alone. When he had his fill, he called for the dishes to be removed. Soon, Baboon, huffing and puffing, tumbled into the room with the herb. "Here you are, friend. I ran as fast as I could. I found the tree, I dug the roots, and I brought them here to cure your aching tummy." Hare explained, "About that. As soon as you left, my tummy suddenly felt better, and I could eat. Now I feel quite strong." "So, where's my food, then?" asked Baboon. Hare told Baboon the host had cleared the dishes. Baboon was disappointed, but the 2 friends went to sleep. In the middle of the night, hunger kept Baboon awake. Hare suggested a plan to steal and eat a goat from the pen outside. Baboon readily agreed to the plan, but soon the 2 pals accomplished their mission and returned to their room. But lo and behold, While Baboon slept, Hare stealthily smeared him with the blood of the goat they had just eaten, which he had secretly brought with him to the room. In the morning, their host woke up to find their goat missing. They questioned the two friends who both denied the crime until they saw Baboon stained with blood. He was apprehended and killed. Hare apologized for his friend's behavior, thanked his host, and left. Meanwhile, Jackal, a friend to Baboon, received word on how Hare had tricked his friend and led him to his death. Jackal decided to avenge Baboon's death, so Jackal visited Hare and asked for his company to his in-laws' village. In the same manner, as they were halfway through the journey, Jackal asked Hare, "Say, friend Hare, there's one important favor I need to ask of you." "Yes, friend Jackal, let me know what is it I can do." "Do you see this herb?" said Jackal. "Yes, friend, it is the herb used to cure a tummy ache." "Well done, friend," said Jackal. "When we get to my in-laws' place, they will give us food. When I eat the food, I may suffer from a tummy ache. Friend, you will quickly run back to this exact place, to the shrub, dig up the roots, and bring them back to cure me." Hare agreed, but before they could continue their journey, he excused himself for a bathroom break. Without Jackal noticing, Hare had secretly dug up the roots of the shrub and hid them away. They continued their journey. At sunset, they reached their in-laws' village. As usual, the visitors are welcomed and given a room, and they retired for some rest. Soon, food was served. "Friend," said Jackal, "I think that the problem is already starting. My tummy is rumbling and is starting to ache. Do you remember the herb? Rush and get me some of it, otherwise I may not survive the night." Immediately, Hare produced the herb, and Jackal had no choice but to share the meal with Hare. Again, in the middle of the night, Jackal woke Hare up, spelled out the plan, and they killed and ate a goat. Jackal secretly kept some of the blood in his hands to later smear on Hare while he slept. They retired, and Jackal waited for Hare to fall asleep. But Hare's eyes remained wide open. He checked again and again until the sun came up. Soon, the in-laws bursted into the room, looking for the midnight goat thief. Jackal was caught literally red-handed with blood. Hare had slept peacefully through the night, even though his eyes never closed for a single moment. Moral of the story: in life, there are some characters who are always clever and very cunning. They will always outwit you. Be careful not to fall to prey to them. Neither should you try and copy their ways, because you may not have the same witness or advantages as they do. By Nikki Masipa Ndebele.